This is the story of Walter Nebuchadnezzar, doing what he likes best, fighting crime in the streets. You see, Walter's a policeman. Unfortunately, the chief doesn't want Walter on the streets.
Captain, get back to your cage, boy. Now!
So Walter must fight crime in his own way, in the computer room. That's where he's an expert. Fortunately for me, Walter's advanced knowledge of electronics led him to experiment with what is called a hologram. That's a very fancy word for a three-dimensional picture that, when perfected, can be made to look real, sound real. As a matter of fact, given enough power, it can even be made to feel real. That's kind of what got me into this world. My name is Automan. You must be Walter Nebuchadnezzar.
How did you know that?
It's on the programming you fed into my system. I must say, Walter, you're very good. Very good indeed. I look wonderful.
If you do say so yourself.
Well, you programmed me to be honest. But tell me, why did you call me Automan?
It means that you're the world's first truly automatic man. You can do anything because you're not real.
Oh, but I am. I'm as real as you are, just different. And thanks to you, perfect.
Nobody's perfect, Automan.
Well, that's not true, Walter. You've programmed me to observe other people and do whatever they can do as well as they can do it. Jimmy Connor's playing tennis, John Travolta dancing. In fact, on a scale of 1 to 10, think of me as an 11.
I've created a monster.
No, what Walter really created was a wonderful force for good. Automan. That's me.
Coffee, too much cream, too much sugar.
You have a memory like an elephant.
You had a motto in the police academy, nothing in moderation, was that it?
Jack, now that was a lot of years ago. You know, somewhere along the line, it all caught up with me. That's our man. Space, but don't lose him.
You never changed, do you, Nate?
For a backup. I'm going in.
I'll be listening. Don't try to be a hero, Pappy.
Don't you worry.
This is Curtis the Stakeout requesting backup.
I'll be done in a little while. Why don't you clean up later? I think I'll clean up now.
sealed off all the exits. I turned every office upside down. The guy was gone.
Listen, Jack, I know you and Hester go back all the way to rookie days.
Yeah, police academy.
Right. Now, what I mean is that since you have a personal involvement here, maybe it would be a good idea if we let somebody... You didn't even let me finish what I was going to say.
I am not going to let somebody else run this investigation. Esther had a wife. He had 2 kids. I owe them.
Well, maybe if I'd stayed with him, he'd still be alive, huh?
And maybe the 2 of you would both be dead. Now, Jack, you cannot blame yourself for this thing. Besides, we've got a new reporter hanging around out here. Be glad to do it for you.
What's his problem?
He hates cops. That's his problem. At least we're all sadistic, incompetent, and corrupt. I'll tell you something else. He's been snooping around this case already, too, so just be careful.
Hi there. You Officer Caldwell?
That's right.
I'm Tom Schultz, the new crime reporter from the Chronicle. We're going to be seeing a lot of each other.
Swell.
You mind?
Make yourself at home.
Thanks. A little bitter. Ah.
Aren't we all?
Well, what do you know about that cop killing last night?
I know that Jack Curtis lost one of his dearest and oldest friends.
Curtis. Now, he's the one that let the killer get away, huh?
Now, wait a minute. That is not fair.
Now, I'll tell you what's not fair. When the police have a double murderer under their noses and they let him escape, that's not fair to the public, now is it?
Hi, Otto.
Hello, Walter. I assume you're calling about that terrible murder of Lieutenant Curtis' friend.
Yeah, I want you to find out everything you can about a syndicate assassin named LeBlanc. He's the man that Lieutenant Curtis and his friend were tailing.
I'll get right on it. I just wish there was something more I could do.
Oh, I thought I heard something in here. Do something. The lieutenant's on his way. Beat it. You 50-watt Romeo?
Cursor?
Hi, Willie. Are you busy?
No, Lieutenant Curtis, you remember Agent Mann?
Yeah, sure, of course.
If you've come to talk to Walter about the Hester Savannah murders, you should know I'm involved in the case, too. Lieutenant Hester was a good friend to Washington. They want me to make sure you have all the help you need in finding out who's behind his death.
No, it's not a question of who. We know the killer is a guy named LeBlanc. It's a question of finding him.
What about the apartment that you had under surveillance?
No, I never came back. A couple of my guys went through it this morning. This is all they came up with.
The bar receipt.
Yeah, but which bar? There's no name on it.
No, but there are some optical scanning codes at the bottom. Perhaps we could use these to track it down.
Even if we do, who's to say it'll lead us to LeBlanc?
Well, that's the best I can do for now. I'll see you later.
Well, where are you off to?
I'm going to talk to the partner of the man who was killed. LeBlanc is not an amateur. He's a hired gun. I'm going to find out who hired him.
You're a mystery to me, Simon. You've always shown guts, intelligence, good judgment. But these 2 murders you're involved with, they were totally uncalled for.
Savannah had to be eliminated. Our money turned him into a multi-millionaire, and he refused to share the profits. The cop just happened to get in the way.
You know what my people are telling me? They're telling me that you're incapable of carrying out my plans to move into the fashion business.
I've had a few unexpected obstacles, that's all.
The fact is, you have not been able to get 1 foot in the door of a company that my money built. Now, how do you expect anyone to believe that you're going to make any real inroads, huh?
Look, within a matter of days, I'm going to have Oster installed as a full partner in Sylvana Fashions. You'll have a controlling interest of one of the hottest companies in the business.
You sure you can do it?
I'll stake my reputation on it.
You lose this company now, you'll be staking a lot more than that.
Okay, Sandy, throw the ball. That's it. Pam, hit it. Okay, you two, let's see you having some fun. A little mischief, come on. Sandy, tell her a secret. Lean over and tell Pam a secret. That's good, that's good. Splash her, Pam. Okay, Sandy, keep your chin up a little. Good, angle your body more toward us. Good, good. Splash her, Pam. Keep having fun, girls. Good, very good. Come on, splash her a little. Good, good. Come on, keep it up.
Tracy Morgan? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to frighten you. I'm Jack Curtis, LA Municipal Police. Could we talk?
Okay, right over here. You probably think I'm heartless for even showing up today. But I thought it might help me get my mind on what happened.
I'll make this as brief as possible, all right? As I understand it, you and Mr. Silvano were partners in Sylvana Fashions, is that right?
That's right. Joseph and I founded and built this company.
Ms. Morgan, your partner and Officer Hester were killed by a man who was hired by organized crime. There's not much doubt about that. The question is why?
About 3 years ago, when the company was still just struggling, Joe borrowed some money from a man named Simon Rafferty.
Simon Rafferty?
You know him?
Only by reputation.
Well, that money saw us through our crisis. And it was all paid back, with interest.
But that wasn't the end of it.
No. As soon as we really hit big, he came back. He said that we owed him half the business. And he wanted to put in one of his own men to represent his interests. Joe just kept telling him no.
When was the last time Joe told him no?
A couple of weeks ago.
You realize that with your partner gone, they may be back to make the same proposition to you, don't you?
Well, they're going to get exactly the same response from me.
I'll arrange some police protection for you.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant, but really that won't be necessary.
Wait a minute. It's got to be obvious to anybody. These guys mean business.
Lieutenant, I grew up in the garment business. My grandfather had a little factory in New York until he was burned out by gangsters. And he made my father swear that he would never give in to those people. And I made the same promise.
We've got a little business to discuss, sweetheart. Why don't you go inside? What are you doing here?
Payday.
You were told you'd be contacted.
I'm told a lot of things. I just want the rest of my money.
All right. Get him his money. That was very clumsy of you, killing that cop.
Couldn't be avoided. Anyway, that one's on the house. Would you like me to check on the Morgan girl? Make sure she got the message.
I don't want you anywhere near her or me. You're hotter than a pistol right now.
Just thought I might pick up an extra buck. Been a pleasure.
When am I going to tell Tracy Morgan that I'm her new partner?
Soon, very soon. If I don't succeed in making Sylvana's murder pay off, I'll look like a fool in front of Ambrose, and that could be fatal.
Stop worrying. That company's as good as in your pocket.
You better hope so. Because if we fall on our face, Ambrose will clean house.
Don't let me go, Eddie. It's 1,000 feet down. Please, Eddie.
What? Drop you and leave a mess for the city to clean up. I want the names of all the cops in your payroll. Now.
How do I know you won't drop me after I give you the names?
You don't.
Thanks. You know, Wally, I really have grown quite fond of you.
I know. But you don't want romance to get in the way of our friendship.
As a matter of fact, I don't want our friendship to get in the way of romance anymore.
The animals are out there. I'm just trying to keep us all from being eaten alive.
Is this your idea of a chaperone?
Do you have any idea what you've just missed out on?
Unfortunately, yes.
That was, without a doubt, the greatest Nasty Eddie movie of them all.
We didn't miss much.
How can you say that about the greatest cop in the world?
Even if he is a little unorthodox in his methods.
Let's put it mildly. All I can say is it's a good thing real cops aren't like that.
Well, I don't know. At least the criminals are afraid of Nasty Eddie.
Sure, because he's judge, jury, and executioner all rolled into one.
Is that efficiency or what?
Otto, wasn't there another movie you wanted to see tonight?
Oh, no, Walter. Why?
Automan, isn't it true that you can take literally thousands of facts and assimilate them instantaneously?
That's right.
And that you have the deductive abilities of the world's most brilliant detectives?
Correct.
So tell me, why can't you take a hint?
Keep away from me.
I think it's about time you and I got acquainted. I'm your new partner.
You've got to be out of your mind.
Of course, I might want to do a little redecorating. I'm not crazy about these blinds.
Just get out of here.
Just as soon as you and I have an understanding. I think when you get to know me, we're going to get along just fine.
You can tell Rafferty to sit on it. That is who sent you, isn't it? I'd sooner let this business fold than to let him weasel his way into it.
Seems to me your partner said something very, very similar.
And what do you think you're doing?
Consider this a warning. Next time, we take off the gloves.
Hi, Cursor. How you doing? Hi, Otto. I was hoping maybe you traced down that hitman's receipt.
Nothing like dogged determination, Walter. Not only was I able to locate the bar where LeBlanc got that receipt, but I was able to connect it to a credit card he uses under an assumed name.
Oh, that's great, but how's that going to help us find him?
Well, I'm on a first-name basis with Kelly.
Who's Kelly?
The central credit card computer. The next time LeBlanc uses that card, I've instructed her to call me here. And when she does, we'll swoop down on LeBlanc like the angel of death.
Otto, you sound a little funny.
Funny? I've never been more serious.
Well, that's what I mean. There's, I don't know, something different about you.
To tell the truth, Walter, I've begun to realize that if I'm going to be a crime fighter, I'm going to have to take the bull by the horns.
The bull?
This is war, Walter. It's us against them. It's the decent people against the criminal element. It's do or die.
I think it's for you.
Thank you, Kelly. You're a dear. LeBlanc just charged his dinner at a restaurant called the Peacock's Lair.
Oh, that's only a couple miles from here.
Which is no time at all in the auto car.
Good, let's move it.
I'll change on the run.
Right.
That's him. That's LeBlanc. I recognize him from the file I scanned.
Hold it, police officer! You're under arrest!
Oh!
Hey, what the...
Stop him!
He's getting away!
No, he's not. You'll never make that turn.
Go ahead. Do the world a favor.
I'm trying to understand this. I really am.
What the hell is going on?
Jack, I believe you don't know it, Jeffries.
Let's just dispense with the formalities. Somebody tell me why all the charges were dropped against LeBlanc.
You want the long or the short version?
Don't get cute with me, Jeffries. I just had to tell a grieving cop's widow that justice would be done. Now, how do I go and tell her that we let the killer go?
Insufficient evidence.
Oh, come on!
Oh, come on me, Lieutenant. We're the ones that have to prosecute the case, and I'm telling you, we didn't have the goods on LeBlanc.
But the lieutenant here saw LeBlanc go into the building. A couple of minutes later, Silvano was dead. So was the cop who followed LeBlanc into the building in the first place.
You can't arrest a man for entering a building.
I don't believe this. We're talking about a known hitman. We're talking about a syndicate assassin.
Known to who? That cop from Portland spent close to a year trying to pin something on LeBlanc. What am I supposed to try him with? Allegations?
If we could only find a witness, someone who saw LeBlanc near Silvano's office, or better yet, somebody who saw him coming out after the two murders.
But right now, there are no other witnesses. Look, I know how you feel.
You don't know how I feel.
My gut tells me this guy's guilty, too. But if I try to get a judge to go to trial without more evidence, the defense will beat us to a pulp.
He's right, Jack. Then if any new evidence comes up, you can't use it because the man has already been tried.
Okay, so what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to shrug our shoulders? Say maybe next time? This man just murdered two people. One, a cop I happen to like. I'm not going to let him get away with it.
Look, you give me something I can run with, and I'll take it to the limit.
Hey, LeBlanc, hold it. Hold it!
My name is Jack Curtis. Jack Curtis. I want you to remember it, because I'm never going to forget yours.
Don't be a sore loser, Curtis.
Sir!
All right, hold it. Is that your best shot?
That's not even close.
One more move like that, and I'll have you up for assault, harassment, and false arrest.
You just keep looking over your shoulder, because I'm going to be there. And the first slip you make, I'm going to nail you for Nate Hester. You hear me?
I just picked it up off the newsstands.
Terrific.
I'll tell you one thing, LeBlanc's attorney must have got hold of this story.
Why do you say so?
Now, don't go flying off the handle. I just got a phone call from the DA's office. They're slapping a restraining order on you. You are now prevented from any further investigation in this case.
They can't do that.
They can and did. I'm sorry, Jack. But maybe this thing is a blessing in disguise. You were headed on a collision course for some very heavy trouble.
Look, if you think this is going to make me lay off...
You go after LeBlanc, they have grounds to arrest you.
Swell, let him.
Desperate times require desperate measures.
Did you say something?
I've got an idea. May sound a little crazy.
Wouldn't be the first time.
What if we could convince LeBlanc that there was somebody, like a vigilante, who was going to give him his comeuppance? That he had two choices. One, die at the hands of this guy, or two, come clean with the police.
Well, I don't get it. How are you going to convince LeBlanc of all that?
By using the computer to plant some phony crime records onto the log, and that snoopy reporter would pick up on them and they'd find their way into the news.
You're right. It is crazy.
Yeah, but look, even if LeBlanc bought the stories, why would that make him feel threatened?
Because they'll all be people in exactly his situation. Murderers who have gotten off on technicalities or lack of evidence. Then for good measure, we could plant some rumors through our informants that the next target would be LeBlanc in this murder spree.
So where are all the bodies?
In the computer. I can even make it so the coroner's office computer will verify the deaths.
What do you think? Would this put the heat on LeBlanc?
Yeah, it could. Might even inspire him to tell us who hired him in the first place.
Then you'll let me do it.
Do what?
Gus Roberts. No. Roner. Accused of murder. Texas. Released because of prejudicial evidence. Found dead in an alley of a stab wound. No. Found dead, not a knife, a .38 caliber bullet wound. Found dead in an alley from a wound from a .357 Magnum pistol. The charred remains of Roner's accomplice were found in the bombed-out shell of his car, which had disintegrated in a fiery explosion on a Big Bear
hillside. No motive, no suspect. Lester Killian, reputed extortionist murderer, found dead in Chinatown Alley at 1:45 a.m. Recently released because jury failed to reach a decision in Medford, Oregon.
What's the matter, Scholes? You run out of mud to sling?
I thought you might like a preview of this afternoon's edition.
Wave of vigilante killing sweeps area.
Any comment from law enforcement?
Yeah, make sure you use my middle initial when you print my name.
Is that all you have to say?
What would you like me to say?
You got a vigilante killer loose. A one-man crusade who's trying to even the scales of justice with enormous firepower, and you're worried about your middle initial?
Listen, wise guy, I come in here every morning and park my rear end on a powder keg of anarchy and violence. You want to know what my reaction is? It nauseates me.
Tell me something. You wouldn't be covering for Lieutenant Curtis now, would you?
No. Now, if you don't mind, I have some work to do.
Vicky's wearing the highlight of our new summer collection, a daringly different one-piece swimsuit in zebra stripe. Here comes Hillary. She's wearing a yellow and black tiger stripe, two-piece, with a ruffle accent, under a cotton knit fringe skirt. And finally, we have Dana, and she's modeling one of our most exciting suits, a stretchable maillot with a flattering high-cut leg and a bright pop art graphic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Sylvana Fashion's new spring line of swimwear. Hope you enjoyed it.
Pardon me. Excuse me. Pardon me.
I'm dying for a cup of coffee.
Oh, you deserve it, I tell you. Oh, it's so good. It really was. Yes, I think so.
Who the hell are you?
I'm a cop.
Oh, yeah? Well, go ahead and arrest me. I'll be out in 24 hours. You know something? You got a point there. Well, then I guess I'll just be on my way. On the other hand, you're entitled to a speedy trial. Next. think those two men will be bothering you any longer.
Well, you really were quite wonderful. I don't know how to thank you.
Well, if you don't, I do.
You know, the more Rafferty tries to force me into doing business with him, the tougher my resistance gets.
Well, any man who sends thugs to do his own dirty work is basically a coward underneath.
Oh, I'll bet there's nothing you're afraid of.
Well, that's not true. There is one thing.
What's that?
A power failure.
Oh, Otto, you put yourself in my hands, and I guarantee you'll never be afraid of the dark again.
Otto. Hard at work, I see.
Well, it's a dirty job, but somebody has to do it.
Come on, if you can tear yourself away for a few hours, we've got some problems to discuss.
What about security for Miss Morgan?
Reinforcements are on the way.
So long, doll. We'll be all right. Oh, we'll have to continue this some other time. Walter, she wants you.
Yeah, come on.
I saw the morning paper. Looks like Scholes bought your phony crimes hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, the problem is my ruse may be working a little too well.
How so?
That reporter suspects the vigilante killer is Jack.
Is that so bad?
It is if the people we're trying to intimidate begin to think so, too. They may try to take him out as a preemptive move. There's only one thing to do. We've got to divert attention away from Lieutenant Curtis and toward you.
Me?
I've programmed an entire history for you with the Portland Police Department. If Rafferty or his men do any checking, they're going to find out that you were Nate Hester's partner and that you were thrown off the force for various,
excesses?
Let me put it to you this way. Your nickname on the force was Mad Dog.
Well, I have already slapped around Rafferty's goons. Who'd have trouble believing I was the cop who's gone vengeance crazy? And I have seen all 5 Nasty Eddie pictures. Now's my chance to really become him.
Look, we certainly can't take time now for newspaper stories or word of mouth. We've got to go directly to Rafferty and scare the living daylights out of him. The problem is, how do we get to him?
I think I have a solution for that. Cursor, res me up some hardware worthy of Mad Dog.
I've got less than 2 days to force Tracy Morgan into agreeing to a deal. And you come back here whimpering like a dog.
You haven't seen this guy. I mean, he's a raving lunatic. I've never seen a cop like this one.
Have you seen the afternoon paper?
Those vigilante killings? What about them?
Whoever's behind them is ruthless. He's taken out 4 men in the last 2 days. Maybe you ought to be concerned.
I don't see why.
These 4 guys were murderers whose charges were dismissed because of a technicality or insufficient evidence. The talk around town is that LeBlanc is his next target.
That's no great loss.
It is, if LeBlanc sings to save his life. Then the loony will be coming after you.
If I don't get you installed in Sylvana Fashions, then I'm ruined with Ambrose. And then I might as well be dead.
One more visit to Tracy Morgan. She'll be eating out of your hand.
Or biting it off at the wrist. I've got to be sure she knows she's a dead woman if she doesn't play along. And there's only one man I can count on to drive the point home. Hello, LeBlanc. I'm going to be needing you again after all.
Thanks a lot, officer. I think I'll be just fine from here. Don't worry.
Glad to help, Miss Morgan.
Bye.
Have a good evening.
According to the police computer, a man named Oster, who works for Rafferty, places his bets at the same bookmaking operation every night between the hours of 10 and 11.
Look at it, Walter. The criminals have taken over. It's their turf now. Everyone else is fair game. gotta do something about it. Something nasty. As nasty as the slime we're up against.
Hey, Otto. It's me, remember? Why don't you save your act for when there's an audience?
Champagne payday on the 8th. Big one on the nose.
1,000, you're down.
Let me see that.
Police officers. Are you Woodrow Oster?
That's right. What did I do? Commit some crime?
I hardly know where to start. Armed robbery, check kiting, drug dealing, extortion. Shall I go on?
Well, what is it you want?
Simple. Mad Dog here would like you to take him to see Simon Rafferty.
Oh, come on.
Don't you know gambling's illegal?
I don't know what you're talking about. Now get off my corner.
Now that's what I call rude. Let's go.
Where are we going?
Going for a little ride. You drive. Get it. Keep going straight, pal.
I thought we were going to see Rafferty.
We're gonna make a phone call first.
Call Rafferty.
No. You're going to call LeBlanc and have him meet us there.
I don't even know who this LeBlanc is.
Listen, Worm. The only reason you're alive right now is because me and my friend don't feel like driving. All you're doing is taking up oxygen. There's not enough of that to go around. Now, either you pull over to that phone booth and call LeBlanc, or else somebody's gonna make $100 selling a picture of your bullet-riddled body to the tabloids. Go on. Call my bluff.
Hey!
It's Mad Dog, cop from Portland. He just blew Ernie away because he didn't like his looks.
Aren't you gonna show us in?
What is it you two want?
Simple. I'm just after the goods on the man who killed my partner.
They made me call LeBlanc. He's on his way here.
Well, whatever this LeBlanc did, I had nothing to do with it.
Walter, you better tell this guy what I do to liars.
I'd be very careful if I were you. Mad Dog doesn't play by the rules.
Sure I do. Only they're my rules.
But tell me something. If you are this guy running around playing executioner, why do you want to get evidence against LeBlanc? Why not just kill him?
See this?
It's hard to miss.
I call it my last resort. I use it only when the law fails.
You know, like you did with the guy at the newsstand?
That was different. He irritated me.
So what happens if I don't feel like cooperating with you?
You could always try it and see. You get it. Walter, keep an eye on this one.
Ah, we were expecting you.
Welcome to the party.
Thank God.
I was hoping for once you wouldn't be so damn efficient.
What kind of a setup is this anyway? What's going on here?
I was about to ask the same question myself.
All right, you got what you came for.
You're the man who murdered Silvana.
You're crazy.
You're also responsible for the death of one of the finest men I've ever known.
Somebody's been feeding you a line. This guy hired me to escort Tracy Morgan to his house.
He's lying.
You apparently don't know who I am.
You're a cop.
I'm also the last face you're ever gonna see.
It wasn't my idea, I swear it. This guy hired me.
Who hired you?
Rafferty. He couldn't get Silvana to sell him his company, so he paid me to off him.
You turned my stomach, Rafferty.
My sentiments exactly.
Let's go. We're all going for a little ride downtown.
That wasn't part of the deal. Everyone stay where you are.
Both of you. In that closet.
Get in there.
Please!
Cursor, the auto car.
I'm not sure which way they went.
I think we need a bird's eye view.
Right. Up and away.
This is Officer Nebaker requesting backup eastbound on Old Vernon Road. That's him.
So it is.
How are we gonna stop him?
We'll see. Going down. Cursor, I think we should celebrate the 4th of July a bit early this year. You've seen lasers. Now I'll show you what a hologram can do. Now, let's light up the night. Come on, you. Crawl out of there.
Don't kill me. Please. I'll tell you everything. Just don't kill me.
You sure you want to confess?
Absolutely.
Oh, well. I guess it's just not my day.
Lieutenant Curtis.
What is it, Joe?
Well, I just wanted to offer my congratulations. Just got word from the DA's office that LeBlanc and Rafferty are pleading guilty to the murders.
Yeah, so I heard.
Oh, have you also heard that LeBlanc has decided to stay in jail instead of coming up with a bail?
You'd think a man like that would have no trouble coming up with bail.
Agreed. Unless, of course, he's afraid to go out into the streets again. Now, what do you suppose that he's afraid of? Or should I say, who?
You seem to have all the answers.
I'm getting there. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it's you. Something tells me there's more to you than meets the eye.
If I were you, I'd make sure I had the facts before I started pointing fingers.
One way or the other, I'll get all the facts. And when I do, you better run for cover. Evening, gentlemen. Evening. Mad Dog.
I don't like that guy.
Come on, don't let him get to you. The important thing is that Nate's killer is behind bars.
Jack's right.
You two guys did a hell of a job. I want you both to know that.
Thanks.
Come on, I'd say we had some celebrating to do.
Right.
You coming?
Just as soon as the streets are safe.
He's got a real sense of humor. He's kidding, isn't he? Come on, come on. I'll buy you a beer.